So to understand what's going on, we need to take a step back and understand the past. So back in the last century, about half of the century of the 20th century, is when the computers start affecting the business world in the form of mainframes. And maybe for you, talking about a mainframe was never an issue. But if you look at the old movies with all these labs with a fake floor and air conditioning and people with ropes and the little magnetic tapes running around and looking very, very mysterious, you had these data centers that did wonders, but those wonders are probably made with a very, very cheap calculator today. But mainframes were very important because they were implemented in the business world to improve efficiency, to do more with less. And there were basically one big brain with many dumb terminals around, so everybody would be using the same brain. Then we have the advent of the PC, the personal computer, and that was a revolution by itself because now everybody at home could have one. And instead of having one big mainframe, you have a lot of different PCs connected in a client server form. That means that instead of having now one node with a brain and dumb terminals, you have one brain in the center, which was the server, and many brains around that were the clients. Then we have the internet, and the internet, even though it was not created in the 90s, is much older than that. It was the domain specific for the scientists and the military. So when it comes to when it becomes public domain and available for everybody so that even my grandma can go and buy flowers in the internet, then our lives start changing greatly because now our way to socialize and our way to shop changed radically. And then we have in the beginning of this century and this millennium, the phenomenon of social media and cloud computing. So now not even I don't care where it is. It's like my data is in the cloud, and that doesn't mean that it's actually in the clouds, in the sky, but actually it's that I don't care what it is, as long as somebody else is taking care of it. And I can use basically limited resources up there and with people taking care of it who are specialists in doing that, rather than me taking the total cost of ownership to do so. And today we're talking about Internet of Things because in the past, Internet was something where you would connect people and computers. Now you connect everything. You connect your toaster, you connect your fridge, you connect even your dog, right? And even so, even worse is that your fridge is intelligent. And now your fridge is going to look at you and say, okay, you're too fat. So I'm just going to give you access to the particular compartment of the lettuce, and you cannot go into the other ones that are a lot more fattening. Just kidding, but probably we're just 1 second away from that. Having said that, looking at this graph, that I think it's one of my favorites in terms of seeing where we come from, where we're heading. If we look at this part in the left, in the red circle, we see a lot of emerging technologies that are already here, that they have been developed completely, and they are fully deployed. So we have the internet, social media, mobile computing, cloud computing, and big data and analytics. These things are ever more common, and they are already affecting fully in their full potential the world as we see it, in the business world in particular. There are others in green that tell me that these are technologies that are being developed, that they are already developed, but they have not been completely deployed. They are not being completely appropriated in society, but they exist, like 3D printing or what is called additive manufacturing, when I can go and print a piece that I require for an airplane, rather than having to create it in the old ways by putting together say like 100 different pieces and trying to screw them and to weld them and to do other things that are a lot more expensive and less safe. Renewable energy, the Internet of Things, cognitive systems, nanotechnology, robotics, and blockchain, which we're not going to have time to talk about each one of those, but blockchain mainly is also already here. It's in the crypto coin, and it's a federated way of ensuring that a transaction is valid. Now, in the gray area on the right, I have all those technologies that are being developed and will be developed in the future, or is at least a prediction, and that will be deployed. These ones in green have been half deployed. The other ones are not really deployed. And I see many things that are so interesting, like human-machine convergence, democracy 2.0, institution 2.0, money 2.0, and the phenomenon that is happening socially to the people is in the middle. So we have decline of fertility rates, an aging population, technological unemployment, and then we also see things like the changing notion of work, right? And so I am sure that probably a lot of the people who are watching this talk will be at least outliving me for 15 years. So given the technology that is happening right now, obviously the expectancy of life is increasing incredibly, and it's going to be a lot more than it was in the past, but that's going to bring a lot of problems, right? So I'm going to hurry because I am running out of time. Just so you know, we create such a ridiculous amount of data every day that represents an amazing challenge. So as we speak, this many Facebook posts have been done, and then we have this many tweets and this many LinkedIn searches and this many Instagram uploads. So what do we do with this ridiculous amount of data? What do we do to be able to make sense of it? Evermore, the organizations are trying to be some more data-driven. So data-driven means that an organization is fully dependent and it's taking the most advantage of data to do really competent decisions and being able to compete. Data for them is an asset. It's not something that is just there to aid decision-making. So in the data management area of organizations, we have the transactional databases and the external data sources that are going to be converging. So through extraction, transformation, and loading, I can put all those data in some data warehouse and data marts, and then provide visualizations, reporting, and business intelligence tools to aid the decision maker in the decisions that are best supported. So analytics comes to the rescue to tell me not only what's going on in my organization and what's going on in the market, but also to help me even prescribe what I need to do. So analytics are many types of analytics. So if I want to know what happened, then I have descriptive analytics, which is the most basic. Then to understand why it happened, then diagnostic. To predict what will happen, I have predictive analytics, and to give me the solution to a potential problem or to propose a solution, I have prescriptive analytics. We go further to cognitive analytics, in which we're using a lot more of inference and a lot more artificial intelligence use. So the new way that we deal with data is not only through the famous 4 V's, but now it is 5 V's: value, validity, variety, velocity, and volume. This is what we have to deal with when we talk about big data and dealing with all this amount of information that we're generating every day. There are a few predictions here of what's going to happen in the near future. So we're saying that generative AI is expected to achieve 30%, or approximately 30% of the share of overall artificial intelligence market by 2025. Also, that 90% of online content will be generated by AI by 2025. Also, by 2027, generative AI will pretty much balance the spending on structured and structured data processing and analysis over, doubling the unstructured data productive use. And unstructured data is, for instance, when we deal with images or when we deal with things that we cannot very easily assign metadata to. By 2027, there's also an outlier detection and other augmented analytics capabilities will evolve into autonomous analytics platforms that fully manage and execute 20% of the business processes. 20% of the business process completely autonomous. That's a huge amount. So to talk more about AI, I will turn the floor to Dr. Rachel Chung, who will be talking about this because she's the expert in AI, and I rather let the expert speak. Thank you. Rachel, you're on.
Thank you, Dr. Guillermo. I really appreciate your lecture. And I really have a very short discussion with people. Everybody has heard about AI. AI is all the rage right now. And so there's a lot of hype about AI. And there are also a lot of ideas about AI. Some of them are true, some of them are less so. So I want to turn this into a more interactive kind of discussion, and feel free to put in your answer in the chat. I want to, I have 7 statements here, and I would need Dr. Guillermo to help me sort of navigate, present one at a time. And I just want, I'll pause for a little bit, and I want you to tell me whether this is a truth or a myth. So the first one is AI is Chat GPT. Myth. Okay, I see a bunch of myths. Okay. And I see some yeses and so on. So that's interesting. Yeah, if you think it's a myth, if you can explain what it is, like why it's a myth, and maybe provide some explanation. AI is so much more. Actually, that's the correct answer. Thank you, Majida. Yeah, so AI encompasses a lot more than ChatGPT. So Dr. Guillermo, can we go to the next one? AI is ocean. I like that. AI, machine learning, and deep learning are all the same thing. No, myth. Okay. So if it's a myth, if they're not the same, how are they different? Yeah, if you can help us, AI is built using ML and DL. Okay, different mechanisms. Hello, can I know something how AI can predict stock market, how it'll change the perspective? Yeah, well, that's what this program is about, actually. We study AI, machine learning, and deep learning and their mechanisms, exactly how they work. You will get a deep understanding of how they're different, how they're similar, and how you can use them for different applications in the business world, including making predictions about the stock market. They are interrelated. So yes, you're right about that. They are related to each other. So machine learning is a type of AI, and deep learning is a type of machine learning. And machine learning and deep learning are all part of the AI sort of umbrella, but AI also includes other kinds of algorithms. But what does that mean to have an algorithm? How do these algorithms work is what we spend a lot of time discussing and actually practicing in this program. Dr. Guillermo, can we go to the next one, please? So all AI systems are black boxes, way harder to understand than non-AI methods. Is that a truth or a myth? Myth, okay. So truth, okay. So this one takes a little bit of thinking. So AI systems are black boxes if you don't understand what they are. So before you study AI systems, they are indeed black boxes. You know, that's what sort of the definition of black boxes are, things that you don't understand. But after you actually take the program and you spend some time studying, they don't have to be black boxes. They are actually understandable. And there's a very easy way to actually understand it at a conceptual level, so that you can actually make good business judgments about what's AI, what's not AI, and how to use them. So definitely, this is more of a myth than truth, because yes, they are black boxes if you don't study them. But if you study them as part of the MSBA program, for example, you can unpack these black boxes. They do not have to be mystery at all. Next, please. All AI systems are only as good as the data they train on. Truth, Sanjay. Faiz, truth, mostly a yes. Okay, so a lot of you agree. So I'm glad to hear that. So sounds like you have a pretty good understanding that AI systems do rely on data and they do learn from data. And so the quality of the data set is very, very important. However, that's not just because the data set is less than perfect, does not mean that you cannot use AI at all. There are actually all sorts of creative solutions around data issues. And even in situations where there's very little data, there are actually very clever solutions, including synthetic data options that are actually widely available in the finance world and also in healthcare. And so AI systems do need good data quality, but I would say that there are lots and lots of opportunities to fix the data problems and still be able to launch AI and use AI systems for businesses that don't necessarily have huge amounts of data or huge amounts of good data. Next, please. AI systems are inherently unfair. True or false? So I see a lot of falses. That depends. True, some truth, some false. Okay, due to data, it's applicable. Okay. Okay, so I see that again we're a little divided here. So I see that it's some of you agree, some of you disagree, which is great, you know, and this is the kind of discussion that we love to have in the classroom when people have different opinions about AI, and we can really go deep. Usually I spend a whole class session on fairness, right, and responsibility, and how fairness is defined, and think about how whether humans are always fair, right? And if AI makes unfair judgments, where does that come from? Does that come from the data, from the system, a little bit of the combination from the humans that use the AI? It is actually not as easy to truly understand. A lot of times it's a combination, but most of the unfair responses that we see actually comes from the data, and the data comes from people, right? And so depending on whether when you talk about AI systems, do you just talk about the algorithm itself or do you include the data? The answer is not always as straightforward, and it's actually a very interesting and fascinating topic to explore that has lots of implications for policies and for regulations, for business compliances, and also for ethical decisions. So again, I would love the opportunity to explore this fascinating topic with you in class. Next, please. AI will make human labor obsolete. Myth. Interesting. Yeah, I like to hear more why you think it's not true. It'll support us to automate, not possible. Truth. Okay. Again, we get different opinions, which is why these topics are so much fun. Okay, it depends. Okay, Miss depends on how far we go with AI. Yeah, so again, I like how a lot of you have this perspective that we're really in this sort of journey of AI revolution right now. Things are changing. So the answer may be different, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, but at the moment, it is not possible for AI to make human labor obsolete based on what we have seen so far. So AI right now is very good at very, very narrow tasks. So for example, playing chess, or ChatGPT is very good at summarizing documents, and that has already been written by humans. However, a lot of human work, professional work includes a bunch of different tasks. It's not just a single task, and it also requires a lot of judgment, a lot of generation of new content. And these are many and a lot of creativity. And AI usually is very good at doing one small task, but it's not very good at doing multiple different tasks together. So that's what we call general artificial intelligence. And we have not seen that happening using the current paradigm. It would definitely requires a revolution in terms of the algorithm design, but with the current design, the experts do not seem to think that general artificial intelligence is anywhere near us yet. So I do not, I'm glad that most of you, actually many of you, think that this is not going to happen anytime soon. We still need all of you to work hard, and many companies are trying to hire people, smart people like you, to actually use AI for innovation. So the next one I have on the list, I only have a couple minutes left. AI is approaching human intelligence. So this is what we just talked about, that AI is very good at certain narrow tasks, but it's nowhere near general human intelligence. I encourage you to take a look at a baby, a 3-year-old, and think about how much a baby has to learn to master a bunch of different tasks. Our AI, none of the AIs can do what a 2-year-old can do in terms of learning, and learning very fast with very few examples. There are lots and lots of talents that human babies have that an AI still struggles with. So there's still a long way to go. AI is very exciting, and we need more people like you that can understand AI, can use AI innovatively, can be confident in leveraging AI for improving business innovations.
If you like this video, click the bell icon for more such content.